To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, incredible adventures took place. Today is the beginning of a new tomorrow here at Disneyland, where the adventures will live on. Let the celebration begin.
Hi there, C-3PO. It's nice to see you, and R2-D2, and thank you for coming here to Disneyland, and I'd like to thank you, George, for bringing your Star Wars family and creating for what we think is the single greatest, most creative, innovative attraction that we've ever had here at Disneyland.
It's great to be here.
I just want to take one moment before we begin to introduce a few people who have really been in the sky and really been in space and who are here to celebrate the opening of the Star Tours attraction with us. Real pioneers in this country and great American adventurers. I'd like to introduce
Now, everyone knows I'm a massive fan of Star Tours, but not nearly as big a fan as, say, these people.
I loved it. It was the most exciting thing I have ever been on. It was really like being there.
It was just the best. It was so good.
I thought that it was the best attraction in Disneyland.
Why?
Because it's so fast and it looks like you're really moving. My mom said she knows what it's like because she always rides with my dad.
What started out as an idea for a simulator attraction based on Disney's movie The Black Hole eventually turned into a Star Wars simulator. The Black Hole simulator was cancelled because of the astronomical price it would have cost to build, and nobody liked the movie. One of the main differences this ride would have from Star Tours is that guests would be able to choose the path their car would follow throughout the film. Or I guess in this case it would be a spaceship that looked an awful lot like an oil tanker. This idea would be shelved for Star Tours, but would pop up again in another Star Wars simulator ride that debuted in the late 2010s. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. So instead of the Black Hole, Disney needed a movie people actually enjoyed, and for that they turned to George Lucas, who had helped them previously with the movie Captain EO in Tomorrowland. Disney approached George Lucas with the idea for Star Tours and, with his approval, purchased 4 military-grade flight simulators for $500,000 each, which in 1980s money, carry the 3. Oh. And so while Disney went about calibrating the flight simulators and re-theming the adventure through inner space building, over at George Lucas's special effects company, Industrial Light and Magic, they began making the actual film that would be projected onto the screen for the ride. And finally, after the film and the simulator were both finished, an Imagineer would sit inside the pod and would manually move a joystick in order to sync up the movements between the film and the actual ride vehicle. Just to make it as realistic as possible, of course. And so, with Adventure Through Inner Space gone forever, Disney prepared for the opening of the original Star Tours in Anaheim, California. And how did that go? Well, look at the title.
And we thought it was a natural. Here we have the space of fantasy that George had created and combined it with real-world technology that was ready to go. And this will be the first time the general public has actually gotten to experience something like this. So we're real excited about it.
So what the company didn't realize, they were attending to the doom and gloom and oh my God and all that. They didn't realize that the anticipation for a new Star Wars product after 10 years in one theater essentially in the entire world. They didn't know how to handle that. And so we had a mass meeting the day it opened. I remember the line was 5 hours long and all the way down Main Street and out the gate. And they decided to leave Disneyland open for 72 hours, 3 days. And they never closed, and you could just do whatever you wanted to do, get your hand stamped and come back.
And thus, the chaos of Disneyland being open for 72 straight hours began. Do you guys think opening day for Rise of the Resistance at Disneyland and Disney World were crazy? Are you of the camp that thinks it's insane that they're doing boarding groups still to this very day? Well, you get ready for the opening day of Star Tours at Disneyland. Let me start you out with how the park opened that day. 10 a.m., like every other normal day, except for the fact that unless you had started lining up hours and hours before the park even began to open, the line to get into the parking lot, which in these days, remember, was in front of Disneyland Park, stretched all the way out to Harbor Boulevard and then some. Once these very lucky people managed to get inside of Disneyland, they were greeted with an ungodly amount of people and crowds, and a long, long line stretching from Tomorrowland, the Star Tours show building, all the way down Main Street, USA to the train station. But I've run into something weird. Here's where something strange happens and conflicting reports start coming in. Tony Baxter himself said that the standby line for Star Tours was 5 hours long, stretching down Main Street. But there is a picture of these boarding group passes for the ride, with the date reading, of course, January 9th, 1987, which is the opening day. And it should note that the instructions read very similarly to the Rise of the Resistance boarding groups, where you would have a return time and then you'd walk up to the building, give them your pass, and ride the ride. My running theory is this, that these boarding group passes for Star Tours, the opening day, were reserved for very special guests. Cast members or Disney employees and their families, maybe even passport holders, sort of an early version of a fast pass that only a few people got to access. So it was either this or waiting 5 hours on Main Street, you get to decide. But it wasn't just a 5-hour wait until the park closed and then you went back home or to your hotel and tried again the following day. It was a 5-hour wait consistently for the next 60 hours straight. See, the Disneyland executives thought it would be hilarious if Disney remained open the entire weekend without closing its gates. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, non-stop churros for everyone all the time. Now, since then, Disney has done 24-hour events where the park would stay open overnight until the following day's opening, and they're currently doing the exact opposite of this right now as we speak, and they are just crushing their record. We're going on a full year now of being closed. That's It's pretty cool. I'm assuming all food and beverage and all the other attractions in the park were running during this weekend as well, unless it was just Star Tours running in that case. That'd be a little weird, a little eerie, sitting at Disneyland at 3 a.m. and just looking at all the darkness or all the third shift people coming in trying to fix up these other rides while everyone's riding Star Tours having a great time. And that's not even to mention the fact that if the ride had gone down, that would increase the wait time even more. What's the longest you guys have ever spent at Disneyland? Were you there for the opening weekend of Star Tours? Did you spend all 3 days there without leaving? I would have tried for sure. Did you go to any of the 24-hour events, or are you just an open to close kind of person like me? I'd love to hear your weird times at Disneyland stories in the comments. They're always so fun to talk about. And so, in my opinion, with Star Tours' days being numbered with the opening of Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, a ride that is superior in most every way, and with the adventures continue taking over the space in 2010, all we have to remind us of the old days of Star Tours, the days when it would keep Disneyland open whether it liked it or not, for an entire weekend, mind you, as a little droid in a cantina all the way in the back of the park. And that is how you do a Star Tours video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching, and it just now occurred to me that this video is not about Disneyland Paris like I said it would be last week. I'm guessing I have to make 2 Disneyland Paris videos now. If you enjoyed this video about a weird little blip in Disney history, please be sure to hit the like button, and if you're new, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this about strange little weird stories from the history of Disneyland. I mean, can you imagine 3 days without closing? Just imagine the amount of mint juleps and beignets you can get. And yes, you could get your hand stamped and go right back in if you wanted to leave the park for whatever reason. It's crazy. If you want to support the channel, please be sure to head to the Patreon link in the description down below, and even just $1 will get you access to probably like 33%, no, a little higher, 96% of the perks. And a massive thank you to other creators like Theme Park Magic, Progress City Public TV, LMG Vids, of course, DLP Welcome, DHI, Themed Attraction Podcast for the amazing Tony Baxter interview. By the way, it doesn't have that many views. Go watch it if you're interested in Imagineering and this story about Disneyland. Again, they are called the Themed Attraction Podcast. Go give it a listen. They're way more knowledgeable about rides and Imagineering than I am, that's for sure. If you want to see more of me, follow me on Twitter, or maybe even a Minecraft server that I have linked in the description down below if you want to be part of an upcoming video. If not, don't worry about it if this is in the future. Stay tuned. And that is going to wrap it up, everybody. Thank you so much for watching this video about Disneyland just not closing, the opposite of today, like I said in the video. And I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.